Hi, welcome back to Confessions of a Magical Mom. Today, we are going to be walking you through the steps of making some of our favorite copycat Disney recipes that we like to make at home when we need a little taste of the parks. We are going to provide you with the recipes. As we make each one, we'll walk you through the ingredients and the steps so that if you would like to try these at home, you have everything you need.
Yeah, so today the first thing we're going to make is called Jungle Juice. You can find this at any character breakfast buffet at Disney World. And it's different, it's called something different everywhere you go. So if you went to Ohana, you'd find it called Stitch Juice. If you went to Tusker House, it's called
Jungle
Juice. And then at
Fort
Wilderness. I don't remember what it's called.
It's called Moonshine. They call it Moonshine.
It's called Moonshine at what breakfast buffet?
Oh, at Trails Inn.
At Trails Inn
at Fort Wilderness, which is a really tucked away hidden gem that a lot of people don't know about. It is a breakfast buffet that does not have characters. So it's actually, Hunter says, don't tell them. It's actually significantly cheaper than your typical breakfast buffet at Disney.
But it tastes way better.
But it's really, really good food, and you can almost always get a reservation like same day or the night before or whatever. So that's just a little insider tip. Okay, so Jungle Juice is super easy to make. It only has 3 ingredients, so I'm going to walk through the ingredients, and Hunter is actually going to make it for us to show you how easy it is. So the first thing you need is just plain old orange juice. You're going to want pulp-free orange juice. So typically you would buy it in the refrigerated section. I had to buy this orange juice concentrate on the juice aisle because, you know, grocery stores are a little picked over right now and you can't be too picky. So hopefully it's still going to turn out the same. But to start with, you're going to need 14 ounces of orange juice. So Hunter's going to measure that out for us. Do you see? That's 16. So all right, so you're just going to regular orange juice, but no pulp. You don't want pulp in it.
Yeah.
Even if you are a regular orange juice with pulp drinker, you're not going to want pulp in this one.
It wouldn't taste the same.
All right. So we just bought ourselves a cute little carafe at Walmart again. It's like the only store we have in our town, so that's where almost everything.
Here,
so we're just going to pour it in there.
Here, I'm going to hold this.
You want to pour it or you want me to pour it?
You pour it.
Okay, I'll pour it. So we're just going to pour it in here. All right. And then the next thing you're going to put in is passion fruit juice. So again, we usually buy the carton of it in the refrigerated section, but our grocery store did not have it. So we had to go into the juice section and we were able to find little individual bottles of it. It's not the most cost-efficient way to make it, but we had to do what we had to do. Yeah. So you're going to need 21 ounces of this passion fruit, and each of these is 10 ounces. So we're going to just put 2 in here, and it will be close enough. So we're not even going to measure it out. So just open it up, pour it in there. And then the last ingredient that you're going to need is guava nectar. So I always find this brand, again, on the juice aisle. It's usually like on the bottom shelf, kind of tucked away because no one, I guess it's not a popular thing to purchase, but it's in a can. Guava nectar. You're going to need 21 ounces of this as well. So these are 11.3 fluid ounces. So again, we're just going to pour 2 cans in there without measuring it out. This, by the way, this container is a 2-quart container, and it should be just about the right size. So just pop it open, and he's going to pour it in there. Now, I am a huge fan of this juice. I absolutely love this juice. We recently took a cruise as a family that was not actually, it was not a Disney cruise, it was just another cruise line. They actually had a tropical juice in their juice dispenser that tasted just like this. So it is really popular. I don't think it's specific to Disney. It's just something that we always like to get when we go there. So now he's just going to take a little spatula and stir it all up, make sure it's good and mixed up. Typically, we would refrigerate it because it is served cold, but we want to try it with you guys without refrigerating it. So we're going to just try it at room temperature. We could put ice in it and serve it over ice, but it is not served over ice in the restaurants. So it is included usually in your buffet. So it is not an additional cost. And so they will bring you a small cup of the juice, and then you can also get a normal drink, like whether you want a soda or iced tea or whatever. It's just something that's like a little special included. So, don't know how this works. Maybe you take it off. Maybe you don't pour with it on there. Now, Hunter typically is not a huge fan of this juice. I think, it is an acquired taste because it's got the passion fruit and the guava.
Cheers.
So we are going to say cheers to getting 500 Instagram followers.
Yay!
Ooh, that's
it's
good.
So good.
It tastes just like it.
It tastes just like the same ones in the restaurant.
So you don't like it, but does it taste like the one you get in the restaurant at Disney?
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah,
Yes.
very close, definitely. So
it would definitely be better chilled.
it would definitely be better chilled.
I definitely encourage you to maybe put it in the fridge for 30 minutes.
So maybe we'll chill it while we're filming our other recipes and then come back and test it at the end. So anyway, super easy, cheap, copycat recipe. It's great for, no, don't dump it out. We'll put it back. We'll put it in the refrigerator. Great for breakfast, or if you're having a brunch or something like that, it would be a great thing to, go ahead and rinse that out. It would be a great thing to serve. So stay tuned for recipe 2.
So the second thing we're gonna make today is the Mickey chocolate dipped Rice Krispies. You can find these in most places throughout the parks, at gift shops. I think they have them at like some of the little confession stand things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have different ones. They also have characters, but I like the Mickey because
You're a Disney
they're
World.
Mickey.
Mickey.
And
We like to buy them.
we like to buy them for souvenirs for our friends and family.
It's a pretty cheap souvenir that you can buy for friends and family. And if you're on the dining plan, they do count as a snack credit. And so a lot of times we end up having leftover snack credits at the end of our trip for whatever reason. And so we stock up on these, and that's how we give them as souvenirs to our friends and family. We don't then really have to, or we just keep them and eat them ourselves.
Yeah, that too.
That's it.
So this is what they look like. It's just Mickey on a stick.
They're bigger in the park.
They're bigger in the park, but these are kind of a bite-sized treat.
That
So
we make at home.
for this, we bought a Mickey cookie cutter off of Amazon. Super cheap. It's little, but it's a Mickey head. We bought pre-cut Rice Krispie treats at Walmart, just in the package.
Because we're lazy.
Because we didn't want to have to make them. Taste the same.
Actually, it probably tastes better than if we tried to make them
Yeah,
myself.
true. We're not cooks. We have popsicle sticks that we insert into them. And then we bought just some chocolate almond bark that we're going to melt and dip them in with sprinkles on top to decorate. So super easy. Just a few ingredients.
Yeah. So we just took, once we cut the Rice Krispie treat, if you were to make your Rice Krispie treats at home, just make the pan and then, go through and cut it with the cookie cutter. But once you have them cut out, you're just going to take the stick and just kind of maneuver your way in. It doesn't have to go all the way in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just enough to kind of be your handle, and then you can eat it like a popsicle.
Yeah.
So this is almond bark melting chocolate, so we need to melt it up first before we can dip it. So hang tight. All right, so we just melted some Baker's chocolate in a glass bowl in the microwave, following the instructions. Stirred it up good, made sure there were no lumps. Be careful when you take it out of the microwave. It is super hot, which is why I am using my cute little Mickey pot holders that somebody gave me as a Christmas gift.
Yep.
So once your chocolate is melted, you're just going to take it. Now, the ones you buy at Disney are only dipped in chocolate, like it looks like a Mickey hat, like the hat ears you're used to seeing. So they only dip it partially. You could dip the whole thing if you wanted to, but you're just going to dip it in chocolate. If it's not, if your bowl's not deep enough, just use a spoon or whatever. Just gonna let it drip a little bit. This is why it's important to make sure it is in your Rice Krispie treat good, because it is gonna get heavier. And then you're just gonna lay it on some wax paper, and while it is still wet, you're going to put your topping on it. So the ones you buy at Disney can have, gosh, you could put anything on it. There are some with like peanut butter chips. There's some with M&Ms. We're using, ooh, I just got sprinkles everywhere. We are using sprinkles because it's what we have on hand. You could flip it over and do the back side, but we're just gonna do the front side. Caroline's gonna cover hers completely.
And chocolate.
Are
I
you
love
gonna
chocolate.
Sprinkle it.
Yes.
All right, Hunter. Now, if you're not a chocolate fan, guess what? You're gonna take your Rice Krispie treat and it tastes perfectly fine. And then you're just gonna put them in the refrigerator or leave them at a room temperature to harden.
Yep.
And that's all you gotta do. Another easy peasy recipe. So we're gonna
The snack we're gonna make today is the gray stuff and be our guest at Disney World. It's delicious.
Don't believe me?
Ask me.
Ask the dishes.
Ask me.
So it's often found on the Master's cupcake as a whipped topping, but today we're just gonna make the mousse, not the cupcake part of it, and just put it on a piece of wax paper as a little bite-sized snack.
All right, so it's pretty easy too. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take a container of vanilla instant pudding. I've actually already made the pudding because it needed to set. Just make it per the directions on the back of the box. So you'll just need, if you get the instant pudding, you will just need cold milk to do it. This is the family size. To make a smaller recipe, you actually are going to get just the regular size box of pudding, but because we have a large family, I'm gonna go ahead and make the family size. So Hunter's gonna take the pudding that is already made up and we're gonna dump it into a bigger bowl because we need a bigger bowl to work in for the other ingredients that we're going to add. So he's just gonna put it in there.
So slippery.
So because it's cold.
Oh, so
All right.
satisfying.
That was
Satisfying video 2.0.
all right, put that in there. All right, the next thing we did is we took about 15 Oreos and we crushed them up into a fine dust in our food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can just put them in a Ziploc baggie and crush them up. A lot of kids like to do that, but Hunter and I just crushed them up in the food processor because it's just easier. So he's just gonna dump them into the vanilla pudding. Yeah, all of them. You can make more or less crushed Oreos depending on how chocolatey you want it to be. All right, and then you're just gonna take the spatula and you're just gonna kind of mix it up. You're gonna mix it till it's good and completely mixed together. And it's gonna make a really gross looking
It looks like a
concoction.
mint Oreo.
It kind of looks like a mint Oreo, yeah. All right, so after you mix it all together, make sure you get it good and mixed. It's gonna kind of look like this. And the next thing you're gonna do is fold in, I can't remember which step came next. Just have an 8-ounce tub of whipped topping. And we're gonna just open it and we're gonna fold it into this. Now, we're gonna fold it and not mix it because if you over mix whipped topping, it loses its consistency. So you're just gonna fold it in. Now, we are not chefs. This is not a cooking show, so please don't criticize our folding in whipped cream method. Do you wanna do it? Okay, so you just take like from the bottom, fold up. From the bottom, fold up. Until it's all mixed together without actually like stirring it. Because if you stir it, it messes up the consistency of the what am I saying? The whipped cream, the Cool Whip. The whipped topping.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't figured out from any of our cooking videos, we are not name brand snobs when it comes to food. We use a lot of off-brand stuff. For the most part, it tastes the same. So it helps cut down on the cost, especially when you're cooking for a large family. All right, so we've mixed it in. It's looking a little more appetizing now, I think. And the last step you're going to do is you're actually going to take chocolate pudding mix. You're not going to make it into pudding. You're going to open it up. And you're just going to put 3 tablespoons, 3 level tablespoons of the dry mix in here. 1. You do it?
Sure.
You want me to hold it?
All right. 2.
Okay, that's 2. And we're kind of sprinkling it so that instead of dumping it in there, so that when we go to mix it, we're not having to mix too much, because again, we don't want to lose the consistency of the Cool Whip because it is making kind of like a mousse type. All right, and again, if it's not perfect, it's no big deal. It's just going to affect the chocolatiness of it. All right, so again, I'm going to fold this. Just put it in there.
Put this in here? Yep.
Yeah, we're done with that. We're just going to fold the dry pudding mix into the mixture. So there are a lot of people that like to go to be our guest simply so they can get the Master's Cupcake, which
I'm
is
one of those people.
the chocolate cupcake with
The gray stuff.
the gray stuff on top. We have been guilty of getting that for breakfast. Just a
It's
little.
offered for breakfast.
It is offered for breakfast. So we've been guilty of going in there, getting our breakfast, and then using a snack credit to get the Master's Cupcake. We've never actually done dinner at Be Our Guest. We've done breakfast and lunch, which are quick service options, but you have to have a reservation. But my understanding is if you go at dinner, the Beast is there to meet, and then the gray stuff is actually served like on like a tart type, like a cookie crust or something. But we're just making this as a mousse.
So I've actually been at dinner time.
Oh,
To be our
yeah?
guest, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I've actually been at dinner time. The thing with dinner time is it is a little bit more fancy food, and it's definitely higher priced.
It is.
So you're looking at steaks, grilled chicken, just a lot higher price, more than lunch and breakfast.
Yeah,
So just keep that in mind when
And
you're.
if you use the dining plan, if you're on the dining plan and you go for dinner, it actually takes 2 dining credits to eat there, like Cinderella's Castle. So you want to keep that in mind as well.
And the Beast is there.
So we've got it all mixed up into it's almost like a cookies and cream mousse. And now what we need to do is we need to let it refrigerate for about an hour so that it gets a good solid consistency. So we're going to pop this in the refrigerator for about an hour, and then we'll come back and show you what to do when it's done.
See you soon.
All right, first of all, I want everyone to mark this day down on their calendar because Mr. I don't care what you do, but I'm not going to be in your videos, has decided to make a debut in our video as long as he doesn't have to talk. So he's going to be the strong, silent type during the video. But the reason he's making a debut is because our last make-at-home snack that we like to do is Disney hot chocolate. Now, let me just preface it by saying there's absolutely nothing special about Disney hot chocolate other than the brand that you buy. So we were first introduced to Disney hot chocolate when we attended Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Oh, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And we absolutely loved it. If you haven't been to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, it's a great experience. We'll do a whole video about that later on. But it's all you can drink hot chocolate, and him and a friend of ours that we like to go with decided to make a challenge to see how many cups of hot chocolate they could drink, and they drank a lot. But we couldn't figure out what was so special about it. So fast forward to a couple years later, and we were hanging out in the food court of Art of Animation on another trip, and they were filling the hot chocolate container because you can actually get hot chocolate year-round in the food courts at your hotels in your refillable mug. They were filling it, so we did a little recon mission, and we ran over there, and we looked at what the packaging looked like, and we took a picture and found out it's actually, which this is not the best picture because this bag is something that we use, it is a Nestle hot chocolate, but it is the Cocoa Supreme milk chocolate flavored whipped cocoa mix. So I buy the bag on Amazon. I actually bought it for him for Christmas. I usually buy him a bag for Christmas every year because he loves it so much. This is what we have left. We keep it in a jar that I just purchased. I just labeled it on the front, and then we cut the instructions off and put them in the lid. So it's an easy way for us to keep up with it. So like I said, it's super easy. It's nothing fancy about hot chocolate, but you're gonna start with 7 ounces of boiling water. We are using our electric kettle over here. If you don't have an electric kettle, highly recommend it. It is like a lifesaver. So it is just about boiling. And I'm gonna measure out 7 fluid ounces. No, that's actually 8. About 7, and I'm gonna pour it in the coffee mug. And then you're going to use 5 tablespoons of this mix just for this little coffee mug, which is another reason why I think it tastes so good, because it's super chocolatey. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to mix it up. Now it doesn't make a full cup, so if you wanted to add a little bit more water, I would just add a couple more tablespoons of hot chocolate mix just to make sure it didn't taste too watered down. And then we top it with whipped cream. I don't know, do they top it with whipped cream?
No.
No, they don't top it with whipped cream. Do you want me to top it with whipped cream? Okay, they don't top it with whipped cream at Disney, but you can't have hot chocolate without whipped cream. So that is our other copycat recipe. It's not even really a recipe. It's the Nestle Cocoa Supreme Milk Chocolate Flavor whipped, says it down here, whipped cocoa mix. And I just ordered it on Amazon. The first time I ordered it, it was super expensive, but the next time I went back to order it, it was about like half the price. So I think I pay like less than $10 for this big bag, and it usually lasts us about a year. If you're feeling extra adventurous as an adult, there are mix-ins that you can mix in with your hot cocoa that will taste phenomenal, but since this is a family-friendly channel, we're just making straight up hot cocoa. So while we have him on camera, the only other thing we're going to do is we want him to taste our jungle juice that we made so that he can give an unbiased opinion, because we've had it multiple times at all the different restaurants. So just taste it and tell us if you think it tastes like the stuff we get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so see, it's a good copycat recipe. So you'll probably never see him again. This is the dad that's the counterpart of the mom. You'll never see him in a video again unless we're filming while we're in the parks, and then he may be in the film if he doesn't sneak away. There will be a lot of times you'll see us at the parks without him because we leave him at home because somebody has to work and make money so that we can go to Disney. So we just leave him at home and go without him. So thank you for being on the YouTube channel. We are at 550 Instagram subscribers. He said that if we get to 1,000, he will publicly apologize for making fun of our YouTube video when we first started. So go like our... All right, so we're back. We've let this sit in the refrigerator for an hour, so it's a lot more firm. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piping bag with a star tip. If you do not have a piping bag with a star tip, which I actually don't even know how we have these in the pantry, but somehow we did. If you don't have a piping bag, just get a Ziploc baggie, cut the corner off, and it'll do the same thing. So you're just going to put the gray stuff. It's
Delicious.
delicious. See if I can do this without making a mess. You're just going to put it in here. Shake it down to the bottom. Fill up however much you want, but you're going to want to leave a little thing at the top. So I did not do that, you know, the neatest way. You're just going to take it, twist it, and you're just going to pipe it into like a... Well, it's not anything pretty, needless to say. You're going to add, if you would like, some candy pearls. They're just found on the cake decorating aisle. If you get the Master's Cupcake, It is topped with these, so that's why they suggest you add it. So Caroline, show them our beautiful concoction.
It kind of looks gross, but it's really good.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of look gross. It looks a lot gross, but it's actually really delicious.
That's delicious.
So, plastic spoon, fork. I've had a long day.
That was not sanitary.
We're family, it's okay. What do you think?
It kind of tastes like just like cookies and cream mixed with like a little bit of whipped cream, like make it more creamier.
Yeah.
It just tastes like that.
It's really good though.
It's really like a cookies and cream mousse. So if you don't want to eat it just like this, like we said, you can bake a chocolate cupcake and you can top it with a chocolate cupcake and you'll be good to go. Our Rice Krispie treats have hardened. Woo! Take them up there and show them.
I have stuff all over my hand.
These are what they ended up looking like.
I'll lose them.
Yeah, don't look too, hopefully they won't slide off. So those are what our final treats look like. We did chill our jungle juice, and it tastes a lot better. I would show you the hot chocolate, but it's already all been drank. And another quick tip is sometimes if you go to your local grocery store, you can find frozen Mickey premium ice cream bars in the frozen ice cream section, which brings a nice little treat to home. And when I was at the store today, I actually found some Mickey shaped ice cream sandwiches that I hadn't ever found before. So that's another fun way to bring home a little bit of Disney with you. So we hope you guys enjoyed our video. We are not chefs. I would like to also point out, we did wash our hands every time. You just didn't see it in the video because we cut it out. And we hope you guys have a great day, and we will look forward to chatting with you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you real soon. Bye.